You've probably heard people say renting is smarter than buying, and to be fair, they've got some strong points. Mortgages can rise, interest rates jump, renting feels safer, and you don't have the stress of fixing boilers and leaking roofs. But here's the truth, those arguments only tell half of the story. Oh, and before we get into it, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ivy and I share honest conversations about life in the UK as an immigrant, from family to finances to lifestyle, even gardening. So if that's your thing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because I've got plenty more coming. Okay, now let's start with what people say makes renting better and why that's not the full picture. Okay, so the first thing, the renting arguments, one of the best ones is that renting gives flexibility. True, you can move quickly, you really can, but most immigrants and black families are not moving year after year. Now we're not. We need our roots. Okay, so flexibility is a short-term comfort. Ownership is long-term freedom. All right. Another thing they say is renting avoids responsibility. That's true. No repairs, no big surprises. You leave all that for the landlords, right? But that also means no control. You are at the mercy of someone else's timeline. How many of you have had to wait for your landlord to get to a job that would have taken you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but because you have to wait for them, you can't do it. You just have to wait. Even if you're willing to, you just can't. Okay, now you have to depend on your landlord's timeline to fix whatever breaks in the house. Some of them are good, a lot of them not so good, especially the ones that have hidden behind estate agents. You don't even know who your landlord is, so you have to talk to somebody who talks to somebody who so yeah, not happening. Okay, if you're in the freezing cold, you rather just call someone to fix the boiler than talk to somebody that talks to somebody that talks to before. Yeah, that's a lot. So yeah, you get some flexibility, but that also means no control. Okay, when you rent, you pay to escape responsibility, but when you own, you pay to gain freedom. How about that? Right, another thing they say is mortgages can rise. True, renting feels safer. That's also true. Okay, mortgages go up, but rents also go up, and rents go up faster. Okay, rents go up faster. With mortgages, you know exactly when your mortgage is going to go up, and they might actually go down. Rents will never go down. Your rent will never ever go down. Okay, no landlord has come to tell you, oh, cost of living crisis, we can take it down. Nah, but your mortgages actually can go down, and they do go down. But then another thing though is renting never ends. You're renting for life. Okay, but the mortgage would certainly come to an end eventually. Okay, so one is a temporary risk and the other is a permanent dependence. How do you like that? So if you're still with me, drop a quick like on this video so YouTube knows this is worth sharing with more people like us that need this information. Okay, right, so now let's talk about reasons why I think that owning is much better for me and my family. I'm going to tell you, and then you can also make your own informed decision on what you feel is safer for you. Okay, so that's it. Let's start. So the first thing is stability and security. So when you own, you have roots. No landlord is kicking you out. Okay, nobody is coming to tell you, right, I want to sell this property. Oh yeah, you need to move. Oh, I need to fix something, and you just have to move. Yeah, nobody's telling you that. Okay, so you have that root, you have that stability. You don't have to think, oh, if they send me out, then I have to go and look for schools for my children and things like that. No, we don't play those games. Okay, so when you own your own home, you have roots, you get to know people, you can actually make long-term plans because you know exactly where you'll be 10 years from now. Do you understand me? So yeah, with rent, you never know where you'll be next year, but with ownership, you decide. Okay, another thing is generational wealth. Mortgage builds equity. Rent vanishes, guys. Rent vanishes. Okay, so rent funds their empire and mortgages build yours. Okay, so when you know that you've decided that, right, I want to rent for life, that's fine. That's the thing, you can do you, but you're building somebody else's empire. But when you have a mortgage, you're building your equity, and that's you building your own empire. Okay, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time, because I'll be breaking down more ways immigrants in the UK can build wealth and stability. Okay, so another thing is control and freedom. When you're renting, you have restrictions. You can't even change your paint. You can't change the color. If you don't like that blue, you can't change it. That's it. If you don't like that wallpaper behind you like that, you can't change it. But when you own, it's yours. You can do whatever you want. Total control. Even the bank will not come and tell you don't change your wallpaper. Do you get that? So with owning, you actually get that control and freedom. Everybody, your children can get their rooms the way they want. Nobody's telling them, oh, you can't hang a picture on the wall. Okay, but when you're renting, you know now, we know all the restrictions. We know how landlords can be. Okay, in a rented home, you ask for permission. In your own home, you give the permission. How about that? Right. So another thing also is equity versus empty pockets. Yeah, we are both going to be paying money at the end of the month for the house we live in. Yeah, the difference is one person is just siphoning money out of his pocket, while the other person is putting an investment that is going to reap off. His children is also going to reap off in future. Okay, so rent is just throwing money into a hole. It's gone. It's gone. While a mortgage is seed, a mortgage is planting a seed. Okay, you plant that seed, you keep planting the seed, and eventually when that mortgage ends, you have all this equity in your home, and then you're like, right, suddenly life feels very, very, very good. Life feels very, very good. Okay, so you have to remember that as immigrants, as Black immigrants also, you need that legacy. We are known, like, it's, if you go and check the stats, Black families are less likely to own their homes, unfortunately, but that is true. And that's why it's pained me when I saw a lot of people peddling this information, how, oh, owning is a mistake, blah, 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 blah. Because as Black people, we don't have that. We don't need to have that kind of mindset. We need to be thinking of how to build legacies for our children and our grandchildren. Okay, and that's where owning a home builds that generational wealth. Okay, our grandparents were not given that chance. Okay, they were not not even in this country. They are back home in Nigeria. They probably own their homes. Those who've been here for some time, their grandparents probably didn't even have a choice as to whether they want to own a home or not. But now you can actually make that informed decision to make it, so you can break that circle, create the legacy, so your children can actually see that, oh, if my parents can do it, I can do it also. Okay, it's not a question of, oh, right, then you expect your children to be going in leaps and bounds, but then what do you have to show for it? You have to work hard, and you know, it's money being spent anyways. You're going to spend the money, either renting, mortgages, you're going to be spending the money anyway. So yes, renting has benefits. For immigrants and Black families in the UK, ownership is more than just the house. Okay, this is about the third year we've been in this country, and we've lived in our own house for about a year, almost a year now. Guys, it's more than just that house. Okay, it's about stability, it's about wealth, it's about breaking circles for the next generation. Now I want to hear from you. Okay, do you think it's safer renting, or do you believe like owning is what the struggle? Share a story in the comments. I would read everyone and I'll give you a response. Okay, if you have a question, I'll give you a response. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because in my next video I'll be breaking down the hidden costs of living in the UK as an immigrant. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. All right, you really, really don't want to miss it. So guys, just enjoy yourself, make your own decisions, decide for yourself and your family what you'd rather do. All right, so see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.